Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sharpe Way show. I'm so glad you have joined me this evening. This is a special, I know, late show, 8 p.m. It is very specifically for those who happen to watch the discussion I had with Vaush regarding Libertarian Socialism. I know a lot of you people are like, don't do it, don't talk, but I think we have to reach out to everybody, and he does self-identify as a libertarian. Many of you would disagree with that, but that's fine. He does self-identify as one. So I wanted to make sure we had that conversation, and I'm glad we did. I think it was a good conversation about issues and concepts. And there were certain things we agreed upon. For those of you who watched, right? We agreed that, big corporations are a problem without question, that little guys need help without question, that we agreed upon. I think as a general rule, he was much more okay with a top-down solution than I am. I mean, far more okay with a top-down solution. I am all about, as you know, if you watched me, I'm much more about a bottom-up solution. He's much more okay with, using the government to defend the weak. I don't know him that well, but I don't think that he was doing it in any bad faith. I think he was trying. I think he wants to do the right thing. I believe that. I just think I'm not as open to using government to defend the weak as I am about arming the weak to defend themselves and to make them more powerful on their own. And if anything, if we use government at all, in my view, it would be to prop up the weak to be stronger so that they can defend themselves and attack the Goliaths. I think there are more Davids than Goliaths. And if we support more Davids, then they will on their own attack the Goliaths or become Goliaths and be taken out on their own versus the government trying to fight Goliath on Goliath. And in reality, they're very often the same. So that's an issue that I felt. I think we disagreed on that in many ways. I'm going to grab some of your questions and comments because some people don't want to talk about it, but I was just after 2 hours, needed a break, had to get something to eat, something to drink. So I had to get a little bit of a break. That's why I took an hour off before I came back on. I know some of you wanted me to stay on and keep talking about it. For those of you on YouTube who didn't see it, I'm going to be premiering it again at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's about an hour from now. It'll pop up on my Larry Sharpe YouTube page. So it will pop up on that in about an hour from now if you want to watch it again or if you haven't seen it yet. It may be something for you to go through if you want to. It's already on I think it's already on the Sharpe Way YouTube page. So whatever the case may be. Let me grab some of this if I can. Austin says, you did great, Larry. Thank you. I appreciate that. I thought it was going to be a good conversation, and I think it was. I'm hoping that some of his audience understood where I was coming from too. I'm hoping it wasn't just, me, getting beat up by them. I'm sure they beat me up because I'm not a LibSoc. So I'm sure they beat me up, but I hope they at least understood where I was coming from. I hope so. Thank you. Great conversation, Javier says. Thank you, Javier. I appreciate that. For what it's worth, Vaush was definitely impressed. I hope he was. I hope he was. I hope he was. Good. And of course, Pete, national debt. Vaush is not concerned about national debt. That is not a thing he's concerned about. So no, he would not be concerned about that at all. So you might want to talk to him more than that. You want to talk to him about that more, right? Noam Chomsky called himself a libertarian socialist. Is that right? I didn't know that, Rick. Noam Chomsky called himself a libertarian socialist. I didn't realize that was true. Interesting. Okay. Well, look, I'm clearly not a fan. With that in mind, though, his tactics, they work. Just being forward, Rick, they do work. So Andrew says, I watched the interview. I respect his viewpoints, even though I disagree with him. Yeah, again, I don't think he was at all. I don't think he was in bad faith. I mean, if he was talking in bad faith, then he fooled me. And it's possible that I was fooled, but I didn't feel that from him at all. So Joshua says, what socialists don't understand that corporations are entities created by the government? Yes. The smaller corporations usually aren't. I mean, they are, but they're usually LLCs or sole proprietorships. They tend to not be S corps or even C corps. They tend not to be that. So there is a difference, which is why I make a difference between the small mom and pop, the small business and the large corporation. I make a difference between the two. I definitely see a difference between the two of them. So John says he makes it hard not to say you're not a real libertarian. We're not supposed to say that, John, but yeah. Yes. I mean, if you watch, you did see a couple times. I was like, you want this? Really? Okay. Okay. I guess you can call yourself what you like, but there were some parts I was kind of surprised. So yes. I don't ever say that and deplore it being said. Yes. He definitely pushed the envelope on that one, John. I agree. The thing what I thought was there were two parts that I thought were surprising in that. And one of them was the government, the comment on government's not very powerful. That I was like, wow, not powerful. It needs to be more powerful. That to me was surprising. As you saw my reaction, I couldn't keep my cool as well for that one. I probably should have kept my cool more, but in that one, I probably didn't because it surprised me. The second piece was that I think he really believes that the best way to protect the little person, to protect freedom, is with a stronger centralized government. It seems completely the opposite in my view, but I think he believes that. He's like, government will come in and save you. And look, there is some history of that, to be fair. There is some history of that. In the South, in Black communities, the federal government came in and helped protect many Black people from state and local oppression. So that there is some evidence to that. I just don't think there's enough, my opinion. So yes, I was live. I for some reason didn't pop it up on my Larry Sharpe YouTube. So I'm redoing that today at 9 o'clock. So thank you. Pete says, vote on my Twitter New York governor poll. Also like, comment, and share it. Yes. Head over to Twitter. Head over to Pete and check it out. Absolutely. Oh, Andrew, you think I did keep my cool? Thank you. I appreciate that. I was trying to. Yes. Dan, sorry, but that guy's a serious asshat. I would bet that his people are saying the same about me. So I'm sure the feeling up from supporter to supporter is probably the same. So Keith says government needs to be more of an arbiter, not a cudgel. Yes, yes, and yes. Yes. Right? Government should be more like the fire department. Right? Everybody loves firefighters, right? You're in trouble, you call a firefighter, the firefighter comes. My house is on fire. Firefighter comes, puts the fire out. Yay, hero. Love that. Government should come when, Keith, you and I are having a problem. And we need someone to fix our problem. Because you and I are having a problem that we disagreed. We thought something's wrong. I thought you said this. You thought I said that. Okay, let's get an arbiter in. I'm fine with that. No worries. But not coming and deciding, Keith is right. Take this, Larry. Right? That's not the way we want to do it. If we were more like a fire department, I think we'd be happier. I agree with you. Jay says, Vaush was decent in his commenting. Oh, nice. Okay. At the end of it, his tripe was same old, tired, and misguided tripe that has been said and done ad infinitum many times before. Okay. Well, look, I'm glad. I'm not mad at him at all. I hope no one thinks that. Not at all. Brian says, it was a solid discussion. I think you touched on a lot of areas that Vaush isn't really as educated on, and it was good to see him taking it in. He spent a lot of time arguing in the lefty socialist sphere or against far right-wingers, so it was refreshing to you go on and speak to him. Well, I have a similar issue, Brian. I don't have many conversations with the left, right? It's one of the reasons why I reach out to the left so much. And why I liked having it with him is, some of you have watched this. I've had some people from the left on the show, and they're just totally not ready at all. And I have to really use kid gloves, otherwise I just embarrass them and crush them. And some of you get mad at me and like, why aren't you smacking them around? Because it's like smacking a kid around. I don't want to do it. So I find myself making a faster show, doing some softball questions and moving on, because I'm not here to beat them up. I'm here to have a conversation. And some of them aren't ready. He was like, he could take a conversation. It wasn't like I was going to, make him cry or something. I mean, he was going to deal with it and handle it well. So I wish I could have more conversations with people like him who we could have a real back and forth. Would be way better. So thank you for that. Libertarian Socialist. How was that not an oxymoron? I think it depends upon who uses that word, but I hear you. Big credit to brother Larry Sharpe for giving way better than he got and getting the other side to maybe think a little bit for a change. I hope that's true. I hope you're right. Yes. Richard says, ugh, I missed this. Not a fan of Vaush. Well, it's coming on again at 9 p.m. this evening Eastern. So about, 45 minutes from now, 50 minutes from now, it'll be on my Larry Sharpe YouTube page. Or you can go watch it now. It's live right now. If you want to go check it out, you can watch it on Facebook, on Larry Sharpe, and also on Sharpe Way. By the way, guys, follow Sharpe Way. Many of you are following me on Larry Sharpe, but if you can follow me also on Sharpe Way, that would be really cool. You can follow me if you want to, say, on, I don't know, Twitter. That works. Whatever you think is appropriate, I would appreciate it. So yes. Sounded like he's not a fan of business in any sense. Well, to be forward, I don't know his background, but I also think he's only in his 20s, I think. So I don't know how much experience you could have with business in your 20s if you haven't started your own business. I don't know how much you could have. So I don't know if it's fair to have that talk in that regard. I don't know if it is. I don't know his background. So I mean, I could be wrong. He might have been an entrepreneur and may have tons of experience in business. But my assumption is he's in his 20s, and I don't think he's an entrepreneur because he didn't seem so excited about entrepreneurism. So that's my assumption, is he hasn't been one. So maybe that's why. But yeah. Brian says the power of the state part of the discussion was the funniest part. Yeah, I know. I got a little bit like, what? Really? What's more powerful? It's more powerful than the church was back in the day when the Pope was like running Europe. Our state's more powerful than that. So yeah. Joshua says, sounds like a classical federalist take on government. Maybe. Okay. Just because you put XYZ in front doesn't change the socialist from being a socialist. Well, yeah, I guess if you're a socialist, you're still a socialist. Is that how that works? I guess so. Okay. Alan says there has to be a balance of freedom from government oppression and corporate oppression. Yes, agreed. I think the biggest issue is I'm pretty much sure that the idea of just giving government more power to control corporations, I just don't see that being an answer. I can't imagine that being an answer. I mean, look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all of a sudden, I mean, we're moving slowly towards that route and the government will change its mind and all of a sudden care about little people. I just have never seen that happen. I just think that it'll gain more power and it'll keep doing what it's doing. If it's a dog that chases cats, it's going to keep chasing cats. You making it bigger? Now it's a better cat killer. It's not what I'm looking for. I'd like it to not kill cats. I'd prefer to do that. Let's make it not kill cats, then worry about how big it is. So that's where my head is. But hold on, Alan. The part that I hope I was clear on and have always been clear on, I'm not about just ending government tomorrow. People, there's no way that people can survive if we just pull out the monopoly that government has been for decades. You have to foster community to step up and assist people who need help. You've got to foster community to be that, the backbone of our society. When we foster that, then government falls anyway. So I think that's the key. Jay says, what's surprising about Vaush's take concerning government power tells the scary true tale of what these people stand for and believe. We can truly imagine a federal government that is far more powerful than they already are. Yeah, we got to go to Heinlein. Oh, yes, and Orwell to find it that kind of ugly. You've read my mind, Jay. That really is my concern. If we go that far, how do you get that power back? Right? I don't think you do. I mean, maybe there's a way, but I don't see one except violence. I'd rather not go the violent route. I would like to try to avoid that. But I think that could be a way. But why would I want to do that, right? I give them more power. How do I get it back? They use that cudgel, as was said earlier, against the big business. What stops them from using it against a smaller business or against me or against you? Yeah, I mean, that really is an issue that I think we have to be very concerned about that. And I mean tremendously concerned. So yeah, let me keep grabbing. Shelley says, you kept your cool better than I could have. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I am trying my best to do that if I can. Absolutely. So let's see if I can grab a couple more of these. Lamar, Larry, you're the man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Yes. I also noticed he didn't even consider people's comments. I didn't notice there were any. That was the thing. I didn't notice there were any. I was just trying to be good to him, and I didn't want to mention comments until afterwards. I was trying to be good to him. 2 hours, and he has a larger audience than I have. I mean, clearly a larger audience. I don't know how many people watch his show, but it's far larger than my audience is. So I wanted to make sure he was doing the right thing. So yeah. I watched both you guys, says Javier. It felt like a custody battle between government and corporations. That's good. I like that. That's good. DC Kalen says, yeah, it was a good combo. I was trying to make it that way. Yes, absolutely. Shelley says he acted like he was at a debate and his graduation depended upon this debate. You know, the funny part is I didn't promote this as a debate at all. I don't like debates. You guys know me. I don't like debates. I made it as a discussion because I wanted it to be a talk. And I think it was. I went out of my way to make it a discussion and not a debate, because a debate then is a winner and a loser. I don't want winners and losers. I wanted us to have a real conversation and see if we could find some common ground and also get some of his people to see what we got, our people to see what he's got. I think it was the right answer. Austin says, would you do another debate if Vaush offered? It felt like there was more topics show could have covered. Of course, I'd happily do it. I want to have more conversation with the left. It's important. Yes, absolutely I would. Yes. So see you in Albany tomorrow, everyone. I will not be able to make Albany, guys. If you are a New Yorker and you can make Albany, it's noon in Albany tomorrow. It is the anti-vaccination passport protest. If you can make it, please go ahead. I literally have family issues here that I cannot get around. So I will not be able to make it. But if you can, please, yes, do that. Absolutely. So Jay says, follow Larry on Twitter. Yes, please do that. Absolutely, 100%. Sam says, a common problem is people who have no life experience universally distrust business. Symptom of leftist brainwashing. There's some validity to that. I'm not saying that's him. I don't know him well enough to say that. But there are people I know, you're right, Sam, who are, oh, you business people, because they've never had a business. They've never had ownership. They're not entrepreneurs. They don't know entrepreneurs in their family. And they think every business owner is by default greedy and mean and nasty and bad. And they're always trying to tear that person or those people down. There is a bit of that. I'm not sure that's him. Again, I don't know him that well to make that try to make that kind of judgment. But you're right. There are people like that. It's a common problem. Totally. I see it all the time. I see people just go, well, they should pay more. Have you ever run a business? Well, no, but they have money. No. If you've run a small business, then you're like me, and you know that there were times when your employees made more than you. When you made sure you paid your employees, but you didn't pay yourself. Or you paid your vendors because they were hurting, and you didn't pay yourself. Yeah, a whole lot of entrepreneurs have gone through that. Does that ever happen in big business? Does the CEO of a lot of go, I'm not getting paid this week, but I'll pay my janitors? No, that's never happened in the history of business. Well, actually, I can't say that, but I would guess it happens 1 in a bazillion times. Small business, often. Rebecca says, reminder to New York viewers, vaccine passport protest rally tomorrow at noon at the Capitol building in Albany. Please come on if you are available. David versus Goliath. Absolutely. Absolutely 100%. Yes. Shelley says, I was trying to guess his age and background, but he seemed to be sitting in his kid's room. No, he's a gamer. He's a gamer, so this is his gaming room, and he does a lot of gaming online. So I think it looks like a gamer room, right? And I think that's common. He's in his 20s. I don't know how old he is, but I think he's in his 20s. And he's a gamer, so it's a gamer room. That's what it is. Shelley, people like our age, that's a kid's room. But to his age, it's not. It's a gamer room. So that's why. So I'm sorry. Shelley and I, we're a little bit older than most. So anyway, yes. A lot of his arguments, I don't like this, I like this. That's not an argument. That's utopia in your mind. Well, one of the issues I have is I think a lot of his concerns or issues, I think, are actually cultural change more than legal change. You can change the law. So you can change the law to support a co-op, for example, the part that I brought up. The financial industry doesn't trust co-ops. So you could change a law that would support co-ops. I'm not sure the financial industry would write checks for it yet. It would take some time. They'd have to see some successes and believe in it and then do it. So there also are cultural changes that are also required. So Larry Sharpe, what role do you see for the left libertarians in the party? They're just as valid as anybody else. The problem is our image has been anti-left constantly. And in reality, a real libertarian socialist, in my view, would be someone who I've heard people say this in the LibSoc caucus. Look, I want government out of my life so I can create my own commune. Well done. Yes, that's a good thing, right? That's someone who says, I like socialism, but I want it voluntarily. I want the government out of my life so I can go do that thing. All good. You go live on your commune. Government leaves you alone. You do how you want to do. I'll go do me. You do you. And life is good. But not just that. Many left libertarians aren't that far. That's one group. But it's a general rule. Left libertarians, this is a general rule, are more concerned about social issues than economic issues. Right libertarians tend to care more about economic issues than social issues. That's a broad brush. I'm saying it up front. That is a broad brush, right? It's not always the case, but it's common. That's the case. So left libertarians are going to be the ones that are going to be fighting for the end of the drug war, right? This is a social issue. Prison reform. This is a social issue, right? These are the things that they're going to jump on faster than someone who will deal with economic issues, right? So I think that's maybe one of the issues we look at. Left libertarians, generally speaking, it's going to sound silly, but they're very often better when it comes to public advocacy, meaning out there yelling and screaming and stuff like that. They are sometimes even better than the right libertarians. So we need them both, right? We need all of them. I want all of them. The role I see for left libertarians is whatever role they want. I'm in. Let's do that. So I'm supporting them all. I'm jumping on board with the left. I'm jumping on board with the right. Just as long as we can move this country forward and start pulling government out and start putting community back in. That's my concern. If you give government more power to control corporations, then corporations will lobby for less control for them, and more control for their competitors is what we already have. Yeah, that's my point, right? They're married. So I'm trying to get, the husband to fight the wife or the reverse? How's that going to work? And considering the corporations fund the government, literally the government, the actual, Congress people, you're going to bite the hand that feeds me? Not sure. Maynard said, Vaush is disingenuous and has no principles. Okay, I didn't see that, but maybe you know something I don't know. Anyone with two brain cells to rub together can glean that from watching any of the debates he's had. I probably haven't watched enough, so maybe I should watch more. I mean, maybe you're correct. I don't know him that well. I'm happy to maybe watch a few more and see, but I didn't get that from him at least. And I don't watch that much of his stuff. I've watched some of his stuff. I don't want to act like I haven't. I have, of course. I was going to talk to the guy. I watched a couple things, but I haven't watched as much as maybe I should have. So thank you for bringing that up. Maybe I've missed a step. It's possible. Let me grab a couple more if I can. Looks like I'm getting spammed here in a couple things. Richard says, beating up leftists with logic and history is usually pretty easy. Their ideology is full of contradictions, such as wanting an all-powerful state while forgetting A, the history of all-powerful states, and B, screaming power to the... Yeah. That's always my worry, Richard. It's always my worry that we want someone to save us, so we throw our money and our hopes behind big government. It's a common problem. We've done it before many times. Many people have done it. And then the government takes that power and controls us, versus instead us trying to save ourselves. And I don't mean bootstrapping. I don't mean that. I don't mean, pull yourself up by your boot. I don't mean that at all. What I mean is community stepping in instead of government. The problem is we have an assumption that it's individual, dog eats dog, dog eat dog, or government. There's a very savvy middle ground, voluntary community, which to me seems, in my perfect world, that if I have a utopia, my utopia is community does the job locally. Now, that's never going to be perfect. So, and I get we're never going to get rid of government completely. I get that. But the more I think community steps in, the better response and services we'll have, and the less chance of tyranny. Is it possible that local people will be tyrannical? Of course. They're humans. But when one group or one area, one community becomes tyrannical, they're only affecting X people, whether it's 1,000 people in that community or 10,000 people, whatever it is. Well, that's terrible. It's not 18 million New Yorkers or 330 million Americans. It's 10,000 county X people. And those people can run to other counties and say, guys, they're hammering us. Help us out over here. And in that case, as what Keith mentioned earlier, that's what I'm fine with government stepping in. If someone's taking your rights locally, let the government step in. You don't get to take, you can't take Richard's rights. I know that it's local and look, you all voted to take all Richard's stuff. I get it, but you can't. Sorry, you can't take his stuff. Plus, he'll probably shoot you. So I don't want him shooting people. So before he shoots you, you can't take his stuff. So in that case, I think we'd have a better world. Not perfect, obviously, but a better world. Yes. So, all right. His views were scary and sounded like the very reason my family left Romania. Ooh, interesting. Yes. Comments were not available in the platform that was there. Okay. Maybe that's the reason why. Maybe there weren't any comments. I don't know. Shelly says there were a lot of comments. I wasn't looking. I should probably go check later afterwards, shouldn't I? Okay, I should. Keith says his entire presentation was classic communist classroom rhetoric. It was like he was reading from a teleprompter. He definitely had a coach in front of him, polished but hollow. You think he had a coach in front of him? You think like a cheat sheet or something? Maybe. I mean, he does this every day, so I would think he's going to be savvy with this. I mean, every day he does it, right? So he's probably going to be pretty savvy and probably understand, most of his talking points. He probably uses them often. That'd be my assumption. So, the fact that Vaush has a bigger audience than Larry says something about our culture, and it's not a good thing. I agree. So I need a bigger audience. So you know what? Like, comment, share. Let me talk about that right now. Like, comment, share, so I get a bigger audience. You're correct. So do it. Not just that. As you know what I was going to say, please head on over, take the survey, take the free speech survey. The link is in the description. Click on that. It makes my sponsors happy so that they will keep sponsoring me so I can spend more time, money, and energy here and with my team. Take it. It's free. Censorship and free speech survey. Click that link, finish it, and then share it. Absolutely. If you've got some cash, please throw it my way. Patreon.com/Sharpe Way, $10, $25, whatever you got. If you got big Biden bucks coming in, throw me $100 if you got it. If you don't have it, no worries. You don't have to. I hope you will. But if you don't have it, no worries. Like, comment, and share is free. You can still help me out, get me that bigger audience. And taking that censorship and free speech survey keeps my sponsors happy. So take that, finish the whole thing, and then share it. Life is good. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. There are ways you can help out. Absolutely. So, all right. Vaush is cynical about corporations, but ideas about government bureaucracy. Jack, that's a common thing. I wish he was the oddball in that. He's not. There's a lot of people who go, because these evil corporations, but good government will fix it all because the government's of the people and by the people. I don't see that as true at all. I think the government does what the elites want to do constantly. And the only way to fix that is a bottom-up answer. That's my solution. And I don't want it to be violent. I don't want it to be violent at all. So he wants to give government more power to stop corporations that they currently embed with them. Yeah. That again is my biggest issue. So his take on government transparency sounded a bit naive, especially when governments can suppress FOIA requests like states have done over the past years. Yes, we deal with this libertarians all the time. They just ignore them, blow them off. Yes. And then, okay, so you find it. Then what happens? I got a governor right now in my state literally accused of sexual harassment and sexual assault and, I don't know, negligence, manslaughter, something, putting thousands of people in nursing homes. That's what I got. What happened to him? That was transparent. We all saw it. And how did we stop it? We didn't. Is he still governor? Yep. Yes. So if that had happened at the, I don't know, the CEO of Coke, but that was Coca-Cola, CEO of Coca-Cola. If he had done that, we'd have a whole lot more power, wouldn't we? So I'm not sure if the CEO of Coke sent 1,000 people to their death in a, I don't know, soda factory or something. Can you do that? Whatever. Yeah, he'd be gone. He'd be gone and maybe in jail. And yeah, a DA would be way happy to prosecute him and put him behind bars if he sent 1,000 elderly workers into a death trap factory and they died. You can guarantee there'd be a DA who'd be jumping up and down to put him in prison. So they had to get in line. They'd be fighting for jurisdiction. Is the jurisdiction of where the factory is, where the CEO was, where the parents were? Oh my God, forget about it. Crazy. Absolutely. His audience had no answers to comments. They only said capitalism bad. the state's the only answer. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not surprised, which is definitely not the answer. Never has been. Absolutely. Yes. So it was relative to the same conversation he had with the YouTuber Actual Justice Warrior. Oh, okay. I should, you know what? People talk about him having debates. I think I'll check that one out. Thank you, John. I hope it's on YouTube. I assume it is. I'll Google it and I'll try to find it. That would be helpful for me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Shelly says, I paid my employees more than myself many times. Yeah. And I never had an employee who didn't like working for me. There we go. See, that's a common thing, Shelly. Me too. Me too. Same thing. Dan says, anyone who thinks government and corporate power are comparable needs to explain why the government was able to put Enron officials in jail, not the reverse. I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you. That's what I'm saying. I think we have more power of corporation than government. I do. Freddie says, where did he learn his libertarianism? Unsure on that one. It wasn't me. I can tell you that, Freddie. It wasn't me. Yes, absolutely. John said he's a gamer. I guess he gets paid from views and subscribers. Sounds like capitalism. I think, yes, that's true. I think he is a capitalist in that regard. I don't think he's ashamed of that. I think he's been very forward. That is how he makes his money. He is a YouTuber. He makes his money that way. Yes. I need to make more money that way. I still got to work during the day. So yes, I got to copy him. I'm doing something wrong, John. I got to copy the Libertarian Socialist. He's a better capitalist than I am. See that? I'm making mistakes. Got to learn better. Thank you. He gave me a headache. He didn't give me a headache at all. I enjoyed the conversation tremendously. I thought it was good. Karen said, I've had a handful of young employees offended because they think the payment they collect from my clients is my gross and they don't understand overhead like at all. Yes. Oh my God, Karen. That's what I mean by people who don't understand business, right? They see that your business brings in, say, 10 grand as an example on a certain job or gig or thing that you do. They go, she got $10,000. How come I can't have half of that? They think that way. They're always looking in your pocket and they don't realize you're paying your insurance. You're paying for the overhead. You took the chance. You're in debt because of this. You're taking all the risk. If your company does something wrong, they're not getting sued. They're not in trouble. You are. If they don't show up, they're not getting in trouble. You are. Yeah, absolutely. And that's an issue. The ownership mindset is what I was talking about. And you know what, Karen, thank you for bringing this up. That's one thing I did not explain clearly. It wasn't that you have to be an entrepreneur. It's that you have to have an ownership/entrepreneurial mindset, even if you're an employee. And you being a small business owner, you know this. Shelley does too. Others of you who've worked in small business knows. When you find an employee that has that ownership mindset, you know what it is? The idea that, you know what? No, I'm going to act like this is my company too, and it's my job, and I'm going to make it right. That's the person you just don't want to get rid of. You just want to keep them like there's no tomorrow. That's the person you want. How can I get 5 more of you? That's the person you want. And I think that's what I meant. And I should have been clearer on that. And I wasn't. I think it was taken as that person's thoughts of business and that's it. And I was saying, no, you have a bunch of people with entrepreneurial ownership mindsets and then they're all trying to grow, right? And that's the issue. So thank you for that, Karen. I appreciate it. So I think his corp idea might work after the business got to big enough size. It does seem more democratic, but not sure of its efficiency. I don't know either, to tell you the truth, Javi. I'm not sure if that's the case. I don't know much about this. There's some data on it, but I don't know if there's enough. I'm not versed enough in the data to know if it really makes sense or not. I'm not sure. But I'm not against the idea of people, having what I would call stakeholder ownership. The guy from the other day that was on the Bitcoin guy that we had on Friday, not Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency guy we had on Tusk, 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 the universal settlement coin. He was talking about the idea that his coin is basically stakeholder owned. Not against that at all. If you think that will work best for your organization, and clearly he does, and it's working for him, go on. The issue that you have right now with most kind of co-op or stakeholder-owned organizations like credit unions and such is they still have a hierarchy above them. So many people own it and have, I guess, stock in it. That makes sense. But they don't have decision-making power. I think what he's asking for is also to have decision-making power, voting on your managers, voting on who gets promoted, things like that. Now, the advantage to that, and there is an advantage to that, is that you're getting people who you want to be your boss. You're getting decisions, you're part of the decision-making process. That's awesome. There's an advantage to that. Disadvantage is now you're making leadership a popularity contest. And I would ask you, we vote on all our government leaders. Are we happy with all of them? I'm not sure that's necessarily an answer, but I do get what he's talking about. So yes. Maynard says you can start a co-op. People like Vaush want to use government force to force people into co-ops. He's a libertarian. That, I guess, is my other issue, right? I think he was talking about ways of assisting co-ops. And in theory, I'm not against that. In theory, if it grows small businesses and if it creates, for example, village farms or something like that, I'd be open to the idea of somehow helping. For example, if you're a co-op, you might get taxed as an individual versus a corporation or reverse or something like that. Maybe you could pick which one would work best for you. Or maybe if you're a co-op, there will be certain insurance issues you would have to deal with because the co-op takes control of that. So I would consider things like that if that would help grow small business. But if we just make big business, gain some stakeholders and then no power change, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. So he created a platform that people pay to watch. He must be stealing from his followers. John, well done. So I guess Vaush is exploiting. Is that what he's doing? I guess. Maybe. That's a nice one. I like that. It's good. Dan says, Vaush's historical examples all seem to ignore the period prior to the 1960s and the LBJ Great Society in which we now live and during which the federal government expanded its power dramatically. What's the difference? Who's elected when the power they gain is so great that it's guaranteed to turn them bad? Yeah. What's the difference who's elected when the power they gain is so great that it's guaranteed to turn them bad? Dan, I may steal that one. That's a good one. I like that. And I might give you credit. I mean, probably not, but I might give you credit. At least when you hear it, you know it was you. That's a good one. I like that. Yes. Social issues are better cured by free markets. Nate, this is a valid point, right? Money doesn't solve everything. Clearly, people can still be unhappy if they have money, right? But the reality of it is, if you have money, then you have more options and more choices because you have more money. So you have an option or a choice to find a way to solve an issue, which I like. I would like people to solve their issues if they can. So yes, I think they go hand in hand. That's why, to the earlier person's comment, I've forgotten your name. I'm so sorry. The other person's comment asked, where do I see left libertarians? I think they're the people who will, focus more on our social issues than they will economic issues. And our right libertarians will focus more on our economic issues than they will our social issues. But they go hand in hand, right? If you have more money, you have more opportunity to fix social issues. If you fix more social issues, people are happy and feel safer going into economic issues. So I think they go hand in hand. Absolutely. I don't think one is better than the other. I don't think so. So Logan says Vaush is 27. There we go. I knew he was in his 20s. So yes, absolutely. There we go. So that's that for some of you who are concerned, that's his age. I don't mind his age at all. I'm glad he's doing something that he feels is powerful, that he feels he has passion behind, that he wants to do, and he can make money on it. Good on him. Well done. Well done. Vaush triggered me because you reminded me of all the smug men I know who want to control my life. People like him are white libertarian. Wow. Paula, wow. I don't know where to go with that one. Wow. Okay. I can just imagine what his people are saying about me right now. He's the Larry Sharpe's reason why I'm a socialist. So, wow. Look, the reality of it is many people think their answer is correct, so you should do it. Versus me saying, I think my answer is correct. Please do it. There's a difference. So, yes. Dan, regarding socialism, what's the government owning the means of production? Oh, that's the government owning means of production. Okay, at what point of the government controlling our business, as you do to a great extent, are we actually experiencing quasi-government ownership? Dan, I think we've answered that question. And sadly, I think the COVID response answered that question. The government told lots of people, no, you may not go into your business. No, we can shut your business down when we decide to. And Vaush was open. He said, yes, you have a business in a state, we can shut it down for public safety. He said it. He's all for it. I'm not. I think you own your business and you own your business. Or if you're in a co-op, we own your business, but it's a voluntary co-op. Life is good. We can all own your business if you want, Dan. If you all want to put us in together, we can do that. But I think we're already there, if that makes any sense. I think we're already there. So you say, you're with me. I contend, I'm sorry, I should have kept reading, Dan. I apologize. I contend we're already in quasi-socialist state based on that class definition of socialism. We certainly are in plain old capitalist scenario where you own and run a business. But yes, I'm sorry. We agreed. I didn't finish reading. Shame on me. I saw a comment and I kept going. I should have read the entire thing. Yes, you are right. Absolutely. So you were extremely polite to Vaush, Vaush, someone say his name wrong. Vaush, which I appreciate. I try to always be that way, Paula. I'm not here to get mad at people. It's not productive, right? It's not productive. There are two pieces to what I do here often by bringing people who are hard left, hard right, or anything else on the show. One of them is to get many of the people who watch this show to see there are a lot of Americans who think that way. We have to be better at communicating with them and getting them to join us in our movement. We have to convert them better, which means we have to talk to them better. But there's a second part in that same realm, which is many of us, we spend a lot of time with people like us. So we can't even imagine that there are people who think government good. How could you think that? Well, lots of people think that. And when I bring them on a show, I want you to go, wow, Larry's right. Lots of people are totally okay with government. They're like, fine with it. Government force. Yes. Okay. They are. And we can be mad at them if we want to, but they vote or don't vote, either one, but they move policy. So I want us to be able to communicate with them. But the second piece is I want them to know they can talk to us because we can't convert them if they won't talk to us. So if I'm out there having a civil conversation and not yelling and screaming, they go, oh, I may not like that evil Larry Libertarian guy, but, I could talk to him. At least he's a nice guy. I can chat with him a bit. Okay, fine. And eventually, hopefully, if it isn't me, maybe it's you, Paula, right? Maybe it's Keith. Maybe it's Jay. I don't know who it is, but one of us gets them to go, you guys are right. That's what I'm hoping. So I know I have I'm playing the long game, right? And I'm a capitalist, not trying to play the short game. I'm playing the long game. And I'm glad you guys are helping me out, by the way. I really am glad you guys are helping me out. I appreciate it. John said, I've noticed some infighting in our movement. Yeah. And the issues we are facing are crucial, such as Excelsior Pass. Yep. And lockdowns. Yep. But it seems one side or another rather fight. On the 1% we disagree, then fight together 90% we agree on. Yeah. And another thing, I wasn't joking that someone like Vaush and I could actually work together on certain things, right? I'm sure that he wants to end the endless wars. And if I could use his people and he could use mine, on my platform, his platform, to move that message, done. Let's end the endless wars. Good to go. On that other stuff, we could maybe not talk about that. But the endless wars thing, yeah, we're together. Let's do that. Yes, absolutely. So, all right. I haven't watched TV in weeks other than basketball, and it's annoying too. So it's like the BS turning neighbor versus neighbor. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Utopia is not one of the options. Yes. And if you heard me say it, I was saying, if you're comparing my idea to some perfect world, I lose. But you're comparing my idea to what's here now. Mine is way better than that, right? You look at status quo, mine is way better. And I think mine has a better chance of success. That's what I think. So Maynard said, Larry's way too nice. He could have told me to F off. No. I'm happy. That's also part of my brand, right? It's who I am. It's how I act normally. So I'm not going to all of a sudden go, let me get mad and yell at people. It's not what I do. It's not who I am. Look, if you want to tell some guy to go take a hike, it's fine, Maynard. I'm not mad at you for it. People do it. But I'm trying to be the guy that's not that guy. So cooler heads prevail. I know Larry can get fiery, but he's a New Yorker, as most of us are. We can get passionate. That's true. Absolutely. I did a little bit uppity here or there. I did. Yes. So Keith says most rural communities operate on the idea of community. Yes, and this is why I have some hope, Keith. The COVID response was bad in so many ways. It really was. But there's a but here. I think there is a silver lining, which is many people who are in urban areas are now moving out to suburbs and to rural areas. And when many people move to cities, they kind of become more left. As they move out, they should kind of move towards the right. And they should absorb some of those community ideas and ideologies, which should happen. And I hope it will. That's my hope. There could be a renaissance in rural and suburban America because of the people moving out. The people with money in the city are moving out to areas where it's nicer and cheaper cost of living. They can spend more money, which hopefully can spur those communities, increase commerce, and make something good happen and change culture a little bit to be more community-based. That's a hope, Keith. I don't know that to be true. I think that's possible, and I hope it will be true. So, yes. Brian says you should set up a discussion with Destiny. He's a left-wing political YouTuber who is great at putting forth coherent points and tries to engage in actual conversations. Voice originated from his audience. Okay, maybe I should check him out. Destiny. All right. Look, I'm happy to check out any of the YouTubers who would have a conversation with me. I'll check it out. Thank you, Brian. My team's watching. Time to tweet. Thank you, guys. And if you could tweet him, let him know, Brian. That would help. If I was to tweet Destiny, I don't know his Twitter handle. Is that the right answer? Yes. So absolutely. Go ahead. So, all right. Any Sharpe Way stew coming? I will soon. I know I've been blowing Sharpe Way stew off a little bit. I have. But I'm going to be back on it. I've been doing reaction videos and such, trying to do some cool things if I can. His Medicare is cheaper talking point. But it's like I know, but it was difficult. We only had a couple hours. There were so many things we could have gone down. So yes, maybe next time. Yes, maybe next time. So yeah. Let's see if I can grab a couple more. Josh says, I feel like we need TMZ DC following our public service day-to-day activities. Josh, not a bad idea, actually. We'd have to have an audience for it, right? Like people would have to watch it. TMZ's not doing it for free. If we had an audience, maybe we could do it. I mean, it's something. It's not a bad idea. I'm starting to think maybe. Yeah, maybe. So, guys, do me a favor. Like, comment, and share. I know I ask you all the time. Please do that. This one is going to be a bit shorter. In 15 minutes, about 10 minutes, 15 minutes from now, about 10 minutes from now, for those of you who haven't seen it, it's going to premiere on Larry Sharpe YouTube page. So please head on over there. Check it out if you haven't seen it before. I appreciate your time, your energy. Thank you for all the comments and questions. I hope it was interesting, at least the conversation. I will have more guests and more reaction videos this week, and I'll try to do a Sharpe Way stew if I can on Friday. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.